Today we're going to continue our classic Pilates for beginners, but again, like the last few classes, we're going to bring some of the exercises up just a little notch to make them a little bit more challenging. At the end of the class, we're going to be doing a few stretches for the shoulders, and we're going to be using a rolled up towel for that. So I would suggest you go and get that now, roll it up and leave it at the end of your mat. To roll it, mine is about the height of my fingers, so that should be just around the right height, just to lift your shoulders off the mat at the end of the class for the stretches. So I'll just leave that there, and let's get started. We'll stand towards the back of the mat. The legs are about hip distance apart. We'll stand nice and straight and tall, so elongate up through the spine. Let's lift the shoulders up and back and down. We'll engage the tummy. Take a breath in to prepare and float the arms overhead. Then we'll drop the head in line with the arms down towards the mat. We're soft through the back of the knees, not trying to touch the mat, just use the weight of the head and the hands to get a nice stretch through the back. Let's slowly rebuild, one bone at a time. Come back up to standing. We'll do one more. Arms overhead, drop head in line with hands, down towards the mat. Keep engaged through the tummy. We're soft through the back of the knees. And let's just ragdoll in this position. We take a nice deep breath into the lungs. Then we'll rebuild the spine, one bone at a time, and come up to standing. So we'll take it down to the mat. If you come to the end of your mat, again we'll stand with legs about hip distance apart. We'll lift the arms overhead, head in line with arms, down towards the mat. Let's just walk out onto all fours, drop the knee and then the hip down to the mat and spin around onto your bum. From here, we're going to go straight into our 100. So if you just grab the back of the knees and gently lower down to the mat. We'll bring the feet a little bit closer to the bum. The legs are about hip distance apart. We're going to take a breath in to prepare, engage the tummy and float the head and shoulders off the mat, stretching the hands forward as far as possible. Then really squeeze into the tummy. Let's float the right leg and then the left leg up to a tabletop position. The knees are together. Make sure your spine is not coming out of alignment, so you still have a neutral spine when you lift the legs. Otherwise, just leave the legs flat on the mat. So the legs are in tabletop position. You're looking down between the legs, and let's pump the arms as we breathe in for a count of 5 and out for a count of 5. Keep engaged through the tummy. Keep nice and relaxed through the shoulders. Really squeeze the tummy. Really stretch those fingers forward towards the opposite wall. Try and not let any tension come up into the shoulders or the neck. And we'll just keep breathing. Just 2 to go. Then we lower the right foot, the left foot, and then the upper body down to the mat. Well done, that's quite tough. We're going to do 2 more exercises in this position. So once again, the feet are flat on the mat, the legs are about hip distance apart. Your spine is in a nice neutral position. We're going to put the hands behind the head and interlace the fingers. We're going to take a breath in to prepare, engage the tummy and lift the shoulders off the mat to look down through the legs. Then we're going to float the right leg and then the left leg off the mat, pushing the knees together. From here, we're going to just do some small pulses. 8, 7, 6, Keep squeezing into the tummy. Lift as high as you can. 4, 3, 2, 1. The right foot comes down, left foot, and then the upper body. We'll leave the hands in this position for the next exercise, just to prepare. We'll take a few breaths just to recover, and then we'll go into the next exercise. So again, the legs are about hip distance apart. Our spine is in a neutral position. We'll take a deep breath in to prepare, engage the tummy, and float the upper body off the mat. Then we're going to lift the right leg, the left leg, and squeeze the two legs together. Now we're going to lift both hands to the ceiling, and one at a time, we're going to drop the hand down to the opposite hip, stretching the fingertips forward as far as you can, and bringing the hand as low to the hip as you can, and then back up. So we're going to go for 8, 8, 7, 7. Keep squeezing into the tummy. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3. Really stretch the fingers away. 2, 2. Last one. Stretch, stretch. Hands back behind the head. Right foot down, left foot down, and lower the upper body. So you should be really feeling that now in your tummy. Let's grab the back of the leg and roll ourselves up to a seating position. And we're going to come round onto our knees for some kneeling exercises. So come to about the center of your mat. Your legs are about hip distance apart. Kneeling nice and straight, engage through the tummy, and let's just go down to a half seated position. There we're going to float the arms up beside the ears. We're going to take a deep breath in, keep the tummy engaged, and let's drop the hands back behind and back up beside the ears. We're going to go for 8, 7, really squeeze into the tummy. 6, lift the shoulders as high as you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's hold the position. We bring the hands to the side of the body. The elbows are right in beside the body. The hands are in front of the shoulders. Squeeze the tummy, deep breath into the lungs, and let's bring the hands overhead. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep squeezing into the tummy. 7, 8. Let's bring the arms out to the side into a T position. So the hands are straight to the ceiling, the shoulders and the elbows are straight out from the shoulder. And we'll just pulse backwards to pinch into the shoulder blades. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. We'll just widen the knees a small bit, sit the bum between the heels, and we'll stretch forward just to release out the shoulders. From there, we're going to come up onto all fours. We'll step back with the right leg, back with the left, and come down onto our tummy. The legs are about hip distance apart, legs are straight, the hands are beside the cheeks. For this exercise, I'm going to say this is the one time when you probably shouldn't squeeze too hard into the tummy, because we're going to be stretching the lower spine. So if you engage the tummy, you'll be tightening the lower spine, which is probably not a good idea. So we're going to take a deep breath in to prepare. Point the toes away, really stretch the legs away from the body, and let's lift the upper body off the mat as far as possible. If possible, come up to straight arms. It doesn't matter if your pubic bone comes a little bit off the mat, just try and get that nice stretch into the lower back. And we're going to do 8. So 7, 6, 5, Try and keep the tension out of the shoulders and get that nice stretch through the spine. 2 to go. 2, 1, and relax. We'll just lay the head down on the mat for a moment just to take a breath in to recover. And then we're going to come up onto our elbows. So the elbows should be directly underneath the shoulders. The hands are out directly in a number 11 position. The legs are stretched out behind you. This time we're going to bring them in together. So the legs are touching each other. Toes are stretched away from the body. We take a nice deep breath in to prepare. And then we're going to kick the right leg in towards the bum in a double kick. Then the left leg. We keep it going for 8, 8, 7, 7. Try and keep the rest of the body as stable as possible. So the hips shouldn't be moving too much. And the upper body should be quite stable. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, and relax the upper body down to the mat. We have one more exercise in this position. We're going to do our swimming. So again, the legs are about hip distance apart. Really stretch the toes away from the body. We bring the hands around to the side of the cheeks. We're going to engage the legs and float both legs off the mat so that the thighs are just lifted off the mat. Then we're going to lift the hands up to the height of the ears. Then we're going to stretch the arms forward as far as you can. And then we're going to swim. We're going to lift the left hand and the right leg and then the opposite leg. And we're going to kick for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. We'll push up and drop back into a shell position for a nice stretch. So you should have been feeling that across the front of the legs and into the shoulders. So from there we'll come up onto all fours. We'll drop the hip and then spin around onto our front. So that's all of our exercises. We're going to finish with a few stretches for the shoulders. So if you take your towel, your rolled up towel, and place it towards the back of your mat. Just make sure there's enough room for your head behind the towel. So we'll come back to our seated position, hold the back of the legs and lower down to the mat. Just adjust your position slightly so that your head is resting on the mat just above the towel, and you should be getting a small stretch through the shoulders from the towel. The legs are flat on the feet are flat on the mat, legs are about hip distance apart. We're going to take a deep breath in, engage the tummy and float the arms up to the ceiling. Then we're going to turn the palms so they face each other and drop the hands out to the side. Just to feel a nice stretch into the shoulder blades. After all that shoulder work, your hands should easily be coming down to the mat. If they're not, just let them hang a little bit above the mat and they will just, the weight of your hand will gently bring them down to the mat. If it's very uncomfortable, you can bring your hands forward a little and then bring them down to the mat. So from here, we're just going to take 8 deep breaths into the lungs. Just to really feel that nice stretch in the shoulders. Try and keep the rest of the body relaxed. Try and relax through the shoulders so we're feeling the stretch, but we shouldn't be feeling any tension. Really breathe deep into the lungs. We did a lot of exercise. You need to recover. So get plenty of oxygen into the body. 2 more. and relax. Let's float the hands back to the ceiling. This time we're going to interlace the fingers. Take a deep breath in, and we're going to drop the hands overhead. Depending on how tight your shoulders are, they may not go very far, but don't worry. Just relax the body and let the weight of your hands give a nice stretch into the shoulders. So again, we're going to breathe deep into the lungs for a count of 8. Keep engaged through the tummy. Try and not let any tension come into the shoulders. This is your relaxing time. And just feel that nice stretch in the shoulders. 2 more breaths. Then to come out of this position, we'll bring the hands to the back of the head, lift the head and shoulders off the mat, bring the leg in, grab the back of the thigh, and come up to a seated position. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed those exercises, and I hope you can feel them, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye.